Over on the blue side, we have ML Alexander and Serega, who are still Balalaika. And over on the red side, we have Amity and Putin, who are RKKA. And this is Hop and Glory. So, are you ready, Val?
I am definitely ready to watch this one.
So, 3, 2, 1, go. What decks are we looking at in this one?
So actually, very similar to the previous games we've seen them in, surprise, surprise. So M. Alexander is using a Soviet deck, and Sarega is using a Soviet Armored, which I can't remember him using any other deck in any game I've played against him or seen him play, so definitely very in love with those Russian tanks. Amber T is using a Eastern Bloc mechanized deck, and Putin is using a Soviet deck. And actually, because I'm not sure if few people noticed this, and I was speaking to Faust, and he brought this to my attention. Remember, we were wondering why Sarega was using those T62s.
Yep.
Faust made the great point. Those T62s are, I believe, elite because of the armored deck, which definitely makes them pretty worthwhile bringing, considering you have more armored slots than you'll ever need with a Soviet armored deck. So, quite a clever choice, actually. I didn't actually catch and pick up on that one until afterwards.
Yeah, so that's actually a very good point, and it does give some insight into why certain units come in on certain decks, and I think that's actually some quite nice information there about that. So thank you to Patton for giving us that. Or to Faust, sorry.
I think Patton would feel very upset, or Faust would feel very upset.
To Faust for that information. Sorry, I always get my names muddled up in these tournaments. There's so many people to think about, but anyway, let's think about ML Alexander and Serega as their troop placement does come down. It does not look like we're going to see too many helicopters, just the Mi-2 there and the Ka-52 for recon. Then we got the OSAs in the back line. We've got a couple of BMP-685s being placed down, BTR-ATAs. We've got the BTR-70 Zarlos, T-64BV. Not many heavy tanks heading up to that top side. Down in the middle, though, we got Serega's standard setup for Alpha. That looks like a strategy that they use almost every time on this map. Those two T-ATUs, or UMs sometimes, on this map, heading to Delta or Gulf, dependent on whether or not they need to defend or attack either. Over on the red side, though, there hasn't been anything placed down yet.
I actually really like what they've done with the two T-ATUs. Last time it was two T-ATUMs, I think it was. Because with this road, as you go down from Bravo towards Charlie, if you see the enemies trying to fast push into Delta, you can bring them up like he did in the game against ANZ, I think it was. You can bring them up to that bridge just below Delta, very quickly, all things considered, and it gives you a nice armored reinforcement to that top sector. We've actually seen the majority of teams on the red side give up Gulf completely, and try and just fight over Echo.
Yeah, so it looks like from the pings, what's going to happen is RKKA is going to push for Delta in this one. So we do have quite a lot of helicopters for Putin. He's got Mi-24D with some recon infantry and a couple of Mi-8 MTVs with the probably Conkers M's, which are going to probably head to like the edge of Foxtrot and stop any vehicles coming across from that centre town. That's just going to make sure that they can hold that from the start. They've got an Mi-24V there to possibly cover any helicopters that go for the push into that sector.
Definitely could. I think that's definitely the way to go. We have seen most red side teams have been going for this Delta push. Just trying to kind of hold the Foxtrot area, seed Gulf and push Delta, which I think is a nice way to do it, but I do think the blue side has a little bit of an advantage on this map, to be honest, because I think it's much easier for them to contest and hold Gulf. And to contest and hold Echo at the same time, because I think they have a bit of a better position than Echo with this forest on the bottom side as well.
Yeah, so I do actually think that the blue side actually gets favoured on this match, because of the fact that red finds it very hard to reinforce Gulf, whereas the blue side can still defend Echo quite well. And that's something that really does come into play. So it's really up to the red side to make a lot of ground early on towards Delta, maybe getting into the left side of Delta on that town to cut off reinforcements into there and then be able to take over that town.
Yeah, definitely could do. I think on this map, If you're red side, the 2-pointer push into Delta is definitely where you want to be going. And I mean, if you're blue side, I think because the map is a little more favoured, you can take it a bit slower, go with this kind of more wide open strategy of taking Golf, taking Delta and contesting Echo. But I mean, it all depends because, as we say that, Amber T does have a reasonably large amount of troops going down towards the Gulf side. So, I mean, maybe they're looking to turn its head, try and contest that Gulf sector, because we have seen it done. We have seen it done where the red side will take Gulf, but it is a bit harder, I think, for them.
Yeah. Well, those tanks are going to take ages to drive all the way down that road and round the mountain to get to Gulf, whereas a lot of the units have almost a direct path there from Alpha to Bravo and then across the field to Gulf. So generally, I think maybe they get there at the same time, since the red side forces can fast move the whole way there. But I mean, it's still going to take some time for those T-72s, and then the BMP-1 SP-1s aren't going to last very long against any heavy armor for a long period of time. And the Moat-Schutzen, I mean, any infantry in Gulf, I don't think is necessary, mainly due to the fact that it can get picked off quite easily if you're engaging between the tree lines. It is great for pushing through the tree lines and clearing out and like forcing out other units, like we saw in another game, the Fusilier 90s really having to force back some of the T-72s. But as soon as those T-72s had retreated to the next tree line, there was no way that the Fusiliers were going to move across the open and try and attack those. So in some ways they can get cut off. But either way, both teams having attack markers in the center at that town, so it looks like both sides are going to consider that a strategic objective throughout this game, and we'll see how they have to play around that in order to make that happen.
No, definitely what you want to do, I think. But again, we'll just have to wait and see, because I mean, I don't think, have we seen Amber Team put in play on this map? I think we've seen them play once on this map, but they were on the other side, so really going to be interested to see if they can actually make something of this kind of defense in Gulf. If they in Golfer, even if they can make something of this push into Gulf, and also, I mean, we do see something that we see with pretty much every time with the red side teams is they will send heliborne ATGM and recon infantry into Foxtrot, just to try and lock that down as fast as possible. And also, it looks like a lot of the forces on the red side are going to be They're going to wait to deploy them after they've sent that KA-29 TB with a CB into Juliet.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like Amber T has put down many of his forces yet. It seems like they're taking quite a while. Maybe they're away from the computer or something. But yeah, there's just not really much substance on the red side at the moment. Whereas over on the Steel Balalaika side of things, they do have those two T-80Us. And they're going to start to follow those up with some smaller units. They got the Shilka and the BMP 685 now there, the BTR ATA and the Ural with the recon infantry. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if there's any counter to those T-80Us put down, because we're still waiting on the rest of the units to appear, I feel.
Yeah, well, again, I think they will spawn them out from Juliet. It's quite a common little tactic to use if you're attacking on the top side there.
It does actually make the attack quite staggered, though, doesn't it? Like, if you have any like APCs and stuff, surely you would want to put them on the road and have them fast move towards Juliet. In the meantime, you can pull out your tanks and slower units from Juliet. Maybe that would be the best way to do things.
As we say that, they're actually deploying, so it looks like they might have just been away from the computer, I think.
Yeah, possibly. There's 4 ASU-85s being put down, and a couple of Strela 10Ms might not be going for that pro strategy after all, as Putin and Amber T are finally putting down the rest of their units. I think they were definitely talking, though, because they couldn't have been completely AFK, because the pings have been coming out all over the map.
That's true. Well, maybe that's what they were planning to do. Maybe they were, planning to do the Juliet drop originally and then change their mind or something. I mean,
yeah, well, maybe they were just trying to make Alexander and Serega seed the game by default by getting bored. but no, they're finally putting down their troops, and we'll see if there's any heavy tanks that are going to join those, because they are definitely taking their time in deciding what they want to do.
I hope that isn't like some kind of scummy abuse of the rules, because one of the rules we had was not to start the game until both teams are ready. So never know. Someone maybe on one team trying to bore out the other team with a long deployment. Maybe, I'm not sure.
I'm just interested in all these pings. The thing is, when they were playing on another D-Day in Paradise, they definitely pinged everything, and basically everything that was pinged had a unit next to it. It was like they'd meticulously planned their strategy, and the first time they did it on another D-Day, it actually worked out really well, and they sprung back and they took down Nandaman. But now they seem to be taking a lot longer because they're not so sure how to play maybe the right side of the map. The thing is, it's just like we got to consider these things, mainly because otherwise what else do we have to talk about? Oh, they're just sitting at the computer having a cup of tea,
having a drink, a nice relaxing cup of tea,
or maybe some vodka, you know,
maybe
get a bit drunk before they decide to start the game.
Wow. For any Russians in the chat, I apologize for this blatant.
Well, they wouldn't get drunk because they're Russians. They can just drink forever.
This doubly blatant Russian racism going on here.
It's not racism, it's stereotyping. There's a difference.
Well, okay, so apparently Amber T is the one who's been slow, but Amber T's been putting up... Wow. Sarega is...
He's getting mad
annoyed. There. Yeah. Is this going to be the game of the deployment?
Amber T obviously having to stay away from his computer.
Some trouble reason. In his life, I guess. So
we've had a solid 11-minute deployment so far, and we're finally underway. Oh, here we go, guys.
The longest deployment so far.
The longest, yeah, indeed, the longest deployment. Not exactly an accolade that you want in this tournament, but either way, we are off, and here go the units towards Delta. I think this KA-52 has a big job to do, as it needs to spot all of these units heading towards the top side of the map, because I mean, it's pretty obvious, honestly, that the red side will have to almost take Delta, but sometimes you can get caught out, I guess. It'd be interesting one day to see a large amount of forces head down to the bottom of Gulf and push into Charlie or something. That would be quite funny.
Amber T has done a little bit of forces, but not that much. I mean, those 4 T-72s are just going to get mown down by the T-82s, that's for sure. But we see this engagement in the mill side as this Ka-52 goes down.
Nice. That Putin's Ka-52 didn't take a single shot then. That Mi-24 might take out the Euro, or just missed as it's trying to land as quickly as possible and get those troops out. One of the helicopters did go down there, and the Ka-52 was stunned by the MiG-23 ML, which means that it will go down to the OSA. But now Spetsnaz Gru and a couple of Conker's M squads have made it into this centre town, and that's going to be really annoying for these T-82s to deal with.
Oh, these T-82s have moved up to the top side as well, and that Conker's is in a really nice position to really mess them up. This is honestly not going too well for Sarega, I think.
Yeah, so that Mi-24D was using its HGMs to try and pick off the T-80s there. It was also stunning them with its rocket pods. One of the Conker's M squads is already dead though, and the second one is going to continue firing on some of these units. We'll see exactly if it can hit another HGM onto one of those T-80s. No, it can't, and it looks like those T-80Us might get out of range in time.
They will do, but that has bought Amber T's forces on this bottom side a bit of time to sort of get ready, sit down a bit, because those T-80Us are kept on the other side of the river, and as long as they're there, then Amber T has a tank superiority with these T-72s.
Yeah, so the Mi-24D actually able to come down and seriously harass the infantry that's trying to move across the open into Gulf, because there's no close range anti-air. The Mi-MTB also coming along with the 12.7mm machine gun just to harass some infantry as well. And like you said, it's bought a lot of time for these BMP-1 SP1s to get into position in Gulf. Up in this top side, not really much going on. It seems that Putin and Amber T have decided to consolidate their forces, not try and push too far. They've dropped off a Grom and a Conker's M squad into Foxtrot just to secure that, but as long as they control this centre town, they won't need to worry about it too much. Was that a big 23 ML went down in the middle?
It was, yeah. There's 2 OSA AKs firing the second volley off and taking it down.
Yeah, so that's an unfortunate loss, but let's see how these Motor Shoots do against the Motor Strelki. They should come out on top, especially with the help of these T-72s and their 4 HE power.
Definitely should. I mean, there's still a distinct lack of any kind of heavy anti-tank capability on the bottom side for the red team, but I mean, we have seen just how scary their anti-tank planes have been this tournament. I mean, Putin's SU-27M has been godlike this tournament. I don't think has it even been shot down when he's used it? Because I don't think it has.
I think it maybe went down once, but I mean the pilot probably survived, so he's probably back at it again in this game, and will come back to scare us with some really devastating tank strikes. But those Motorstrelki getting melted by the Motorshoots 90 and the BMP-1s and T-72s. And this Osa's getting incredibly close to the T-72s and will go down. The T-80s have finally made it across the bridge, and they are going to come and try and kill off a couple of these T-72s. One of the T-72s, well, both of them were on 1 health. One of them got killed by the second volley. BRDM-3 going to be engaging those BMP-1s. If the BMP-1s get on target, they should be able to kill that, and they did. The BTR-80A is probing across the river from Delta and picking off some of the BMP-1s as well, and that's going to force those Motorshoots to run back to Foxtrot, as they were probably going to be used to attack Echo, but no longer.
I have to say, this is going kind of a very different way than I expected, because I did expect Sarega to do a very good job of pushing into Gulf, but that fast occupation of the town left of Foxtrot by Putin has been really, really important for them, because that really kept those T-80Us kept them in place, I suppose, on the other side of the river, and it gave Amber T the time to really secure this bottom side. But on the top side, though, definitely going M. Alexander's way, I think.
Yeah, at the top we see an Mi-24 engaging these Osas, and if he can get those rockets down and stun those, then it might have got the advantage, but nope, the OSAs are going to take down the Mi-24 as expected. Motorstrelki sitting on the other side of that hill at Echo, still maintaining presence in that sector, but currently things are completely even, since Amber T did manage to completely secure Gulf with the use of those BMP-1s, Motorshoots and T-72s. And he's also got control of this centre town. Those Conkers M's could use some resupply though, in order to make that presence known, and that would definitely cause those T-80Us to question hanging around in the middle of that field. Surprised not to see any HGM planes coming yet and try and kill those.
That's true, but we do have a PD and a Yak 141 on the left hand side of Charlie, so I mean that might be the deterring factor when it comes to trying to kill these T-80Us.
Yeah, so at Juliet, I mean, it looks like they're still amassing quite a lot of forces. They've got a couple of T-80Bs up there. They've got a couple of BMP-3s, BTR-80A, a few ASU-85s and a couple of Strela 10Ms. Looks like they want to go for a bit of a heavier push, maybe into the bottom side of Echo, and then they can swing round and come into Delta using the cover from the forest and the small town there. But actually in Delta at the moment, there isn't many forces whatsoever. If a recon helicopter came along and spotted that there wasn't much there, then things could get ugly for Steel Balalaika.
It could get ugly, but that there is still a reasonable amount of stuff there, and you've got to remember as well that any kind of attack across there...
Oh no, this SU-27M in the pot side.
Is it going to go down?
It looks like this Yak 1 might get a last shot.
He's out of ammo, he's out of ammo. He's going to escape with 1 HP.
Oh my god, the SU-27M's still not going to go down. The Yak 141 is. The Yak 141 did not get out in time. And they also lost a MiG-23 ML, which got shot down by the MiG-23, I think it was. So yeah, a MiG-27K coming in on the top side, not going to get hit by the NEAA as it does take out a BMP-3, but yeah, that air engagement was really, really lucky. In the middle though, looks like these infantry squads are getting slowly whittled down.
Definitely, the fire support from this BMP 685 has been really, really instrumental as well. But unfortunate for that, one squad has survived. I think if the red team wants to control it, they definitely need to send some resupply, which they may be doing right now with this VLKV T815 coming through Foxtrot.
Yeah, those T-80Us are really pushing hard onto to Gulf right now. They did manage to take out another of those T-72s, and the BMP 685 still moving forwards, and they will probably discover the Mochutsen as they fire their AT weapon towards them, although the BMP-1's going to be the first to engage and actually get the kill onto one of the BMP-685s.
30 down the bottom side. It's got its missiles off, but it's traded its life for a BMP-685.
Oh,
as I say that though, the Yak.
Yeah, the Yak even went... Was it? Oh, okay.
I can't remember. I think it was a PD.
Yeah, it was probably a PD. I think went down to the AA as well, so I don't know if that was a good trade or a bad trade. They kind of like baited out an air supremacy aircraft and had it shot down, so I mean, it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Have a look over in Alpha. We've seen some very sneaky stuff here from
Poon. Yeah, the Spetsnaz grew.
There's nothing in between them.
Putin's soldiers moving down from the top left side of the map. I pointed them out earlier to the stream. But yeah, the Spetsnaz crew were dropped out, and now they are dangerously close to finding that UAZ. Mochutsen though engaging Mostrelki in the centre, but those Spetsnaz crew, let's see exactly where they go. Because if they reveal themselves to the Shilka, they might actually get completely destroyed.
Very well, he doesn't seem to be moving them at the moment. I mean, he does have to be careful because the longer he waits, the more chance of something coming through reinforcing, spotting it and killing him.
Yeah, well, I think the Spetsnaz crew would have a good chance of killing whatever came down the road, to be honest. But they would obviously give away their position, and then the command UAZ would just make a run for it, I'm sure. But an Mi-24 VP coming down now to the centre town, and that is going to kill off a couple of the APCs that dropped off the Motorstrelki. The Ziegler ends though waiting to open up, and will land one rocket. If they land the second, then that's going to be very bad. MiG-27M coming in, and that is not... Yeah, going to get the T-80Us as it does lose sight. Not enough AA to really shoot that down, though. Only one Shilka defending those two T-80Us. Oh, and it just flies over a second one as it goes out. So, I mean, it looks like these Spetsnaz crew will get spotted by this OSA, as they will engage that. Although it looks like Putin was moving them, so they didn't actually use their heat rocket into the side of that OSA. Otherwise, they probably would have easily killed it. Now they know exactly what's there. And I would not be surprised to see Serega react, or Emma Alexander to react to kill those. Unless they didn't even notice, in which case...
Maybe not.
Yeah, but an Mi-2 is being brought up.
A pretty significant push coming down into Gulf, though, and there's not really that many things there. You know, Amber T, he's only got 2 of those T-72s left, 1 very damaged, only 3 squads of also damaged infantry. And there are a lot of Motorstrelki coming in, and they're supported by a BMP-T, which, as we all know, is absolutely fearsome at these kind of ranges.
Yeah, so that BMP-T is perfect for killing off Mochutsen if it can get the fire support going. The T-80Us are good for killing off these medium tanks, the T-72s. So this is a nice combined push here from Serega with these units. The only thing he was kind of lacking was the radar and infrared AA, but he's got a couple of Shilkas and the Tor just a little bit far back. I mean, these T-80Us are still pretty exposed.
They definitely are. I think this is definitely going to go in the way of Steel Balalaika here, because there's only 2 T-72s coming from the side, and I do wonder a little whether Amber T's Mochutsen 90 really needed 4 squads of those in this middle town. Maybe should have sent some of those down to the Gulf forests.
Where was that?
In the town just left of Foxtrot, he's got 4 squads of these Mochutsen 90s he reinforced with. I can't help but wonder if he just sent one of those 2 stacks down, it might have been a little more...
Yeah, it might have been easier to defend, yeah. But the Motorstrelki did make their ground. They discovered the Mochutsen squads, allowed the support to open up, and now this T-80U is probably going to find this T-72 and get the shot off first with the quick aim. And now I'm honestly surprised that the SU-27M hasn't come in, because they do still have it, don't they? I mean, it might still be repairing. It was repaired.
Yeah, it was damaged, so they'll probably repair it.
It was only on 1 health.
I mean, personally, I'm just shocked that the Spetsnaz Crew squad hasn't found that UAZ in Alpha.
Yeah, that was very, very unlucky. Putin's still running around trying to find it. But what he didn't realise was that he was right next to it. And all that Spetsnaz crew is going to find is some vegetation. So, unfortunately, therefore, Putin not going to be a CV snipe in this game, I don't think. Those 2 BMP-3s have the chance to spot this Spetsnaz crew squad if that Spetsnaz crew is not too careful. Oh, looks like that's not going to happen. The Heat Rocket and Dragunov are turned off.
Very clever move, I think, to make sure that he can at least retain the recon aspect of the crew, even without. But you have to be careful, because obviously if he reveals that Shellcar, Saraga, or Sarega even, can see that it's actually revealed. And then he'll know something's up. But again, on this bottom side, a nice push in from Sarega with his tanks and most Strelky. And now has room to put a contesting CV in, which we do see him bring in.
Oh, loving this P2UR Conkers M squad in the centre town. It's picking off these BTRDs with the VDB-90 in them. Did completely wipe out one squad with an 80GM, which was very, very good. Now these T-72s at medium range are picking off some of the Motor Strelky in Gulf. I would like to see Sarega move forwards these T-80Us now to the edge of the tree line and challenge those T-72s. Because he would definitely win out in that engagement. But some more reinforcements from Amber T coming. A few more BMP-1s with Moat Schutzen and some OBRs on the way to maybe take the fight to the T-80Us.
Yeah, they're definitely much heavier than anything he's had so far. He's only had those T-72s, the base ones with 13 AP and a pretty dreadful set of armor as well. So definitely nice to see that. We do see this Su-27M coming back in again. Let's see, what can they actually see? Oh, they can see that T-80U.
Oh yeah, they did pick out the T-80U in the open, but they did just fly over the Tor. And for the first time in a long time, the Su-27M finally goes down. I think the Yak secured the kill there, as they do bring in 2 Yak 141s. And I'm pretty sure they were waiting for that prize Su-27M to come in and then take it down. It looks like, was that a MiG went down in the top side?
I think so.
Trying to kill off a few units up there. So another loss. But in this bottom side, now the Gulf sector is neutralized with Sarega getting his UAZ into Gulf. And that does give them the +1 income lead since they do control Echo. And yeah, so it was originally there was no points coming in on either side because Amber T controlled Gulf and Steel Balalaika controlled Echo. But now that Gulf is neutralized, the +1 income is coming in for Alexander and Sarega. So that's going to continue to tick up, and now they are 91 points ahead of RKKA's 8.
They are, and I mean, this is a point where I'd really like to see a Smirch come in, because that would do so much damage onto Gulf. For both teams, actually, but specifically for Steel Balalaika, because both the AA pieces are there, those damaged T-72s are there, and very soon those OBR 1989s are going to be there as well.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Although, as you say that, Smirch coming in from the other side, RKKA going to be using a Smirch to try and do some damage to these T-80Us, the BMPT, and maybe pick off a couple of AA units, but a lot of it's being retreated. And honestly, I don't think much of this is going to actually hit its target. It looks like that T-80U took a bit of damage.
I think. One hit on that T-80U.
One hit. Oh, BMP3 just missing out from being hit by a Conkers M squad from the centre town. Looks like it still might do. Yes, it will. So BMP3 going down there and seriously harming that Motor Strelky 90 squad. But now after that Smirch,
as well.
Yeah, now after that Smirch attack though, it looks like Putin and Amber T are going to make a heavy push over to the left side of Gulf using those T-72B OBRs to charge and spearhead the attack. The T-72s are moving forwards with the BMP-1s and the Moat Schutzen running behind. So we'll have to see exactly how this goes, as it seems Sarega wants to try and retreat his units as far as possible. Oh, the T-72B OBR is just missing the HGM onto the Tor, but it looks like one of the cannons will hit, and a Su-27M for Sarega is going to pick off one of the T-72B OBRs. And the T-80U picked off the other one. The Su-24 came in, got some really nice kills onto the OSAs. And now there is like no AA left for Amber T and this push. So he's got to be very careful he doesn't get taken out by a lot of airstrikes now. And he has nothing really to deal with the T-80U since his OBRs got taken out.
He does, and there's quite a few of these BMPTs as well. Or, well, one BMPT now, there was 2. I still think Sarga needs to be pretty careful, or Sarega even, keep messing that one up, because those moat shoots in, they don't have the best RPG, but combined with those T-72s at that very short range, they can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, but these T-72s, yeah, like you're saying, they are going to come forwards, and the C-ATUs need to maintain their distance so that the kinetic rounds off the T-72s can't be very effective. The BMPT needs to also maintain its range so that it can engage the infantry effectively, and it looks like that's going to force Sarega to take the back foot, although the MiG-27M there coming in, getting a cheeky kill.
Avenging his brother.
Yeah, onto the T-80. So that was a very nice kill there, and that has stopped the +1 income lead for Steel Balalaika. So things back to neutral, but honestly, I kind of feel like RKKA are still back on the back foot, and they are going to have to make something happen if they want to get back into this game.
They're on the back foot, but they've had a really nice set of kills in golf by taking out both those T-8TUs. And it gives them a really nice position. I mean, obviously attacking into Charlie is super hard because they can spawn infantry. Basically, about 5 or 6 seconds, maybe I'll say 10 seconds away from getting into the town at Charlie as well. But if you can take Charlie, you can pretty much win the game off that because it's so easy to push into Bravo because of that reinforcement point.
Yeah, so that's definitely a good point to be made, although I don't think we've seen a single team try to make the cross from Golf to Charlie yet, because there's such a large sort of amount of fields you have to cross in order to get to the forest that is the only decent cover you can use to then kill the reinforcements that come into Charlie. And I mean, the only real way to do it is make sure that you kill the command unit first, but it's going to take you some time to kill that, so there's that as well. It's very, very hard, like you said, to push into Charlie because the enemy can reinforce exactly from that point. It's the same reason you don't see the blue side push towards Charlie, because Juliet has exactly the same thing.
But again, definitely a kind of even game that's still tipped in Steel Balalaika's favour. Not really been paying much attention to the top side, but there has been a lot of action going on down here with these BMP3s trading up blows with these T-8TAs. T-8TA is actually out of ammunition as well, and the BMP3 is very soon to be out of ammunition. Lots of these moats Strelky 90 though just being hidden just below the lip of the mountain to kind of keep a nice infantry presence there. But it really is, it's quite a nice large attack between Putin and Amber T that they're sending up on this top side. We'll have to see if they can actually make anything real of it.
Yeah, so well, the T-80As still have their cannon rounds. They've of course run out of HGM ammo. The Zaloznici could be used to clean out these Motostrelki, but those OSAs have to be incredibly careful there, as those Motostrelki could just come straight over the hill and snipe those and leave the T-80As defenseless. And those Strela 10Ms are not going to be good enough to shoot down any HGM planes quick enough, so they really are relying on these OSAs right now. And
well, I mean,
honestly, the OSAs are
killing.
They're killing the Mi-24Ds, and they're actually going to be out of ammunition soon.
Yeah, the OSA is definitely, the 30-point OSA is just, it's a really nice unit because it has 7 HE for 30 points, so it may have bad accuracy, but it has 2,800 meter range against helis. Pretty dire against planes, unfortunately, but really, really nice for dealing with helis, that's for sure.
So it's nice to see these OT-810s being used as distraction, but Su-27M comes in, picks off both of those tanks, and wow,
goes down. That's
the last
HE, like
missile from the OSA and one missile from the Strela 10M do hit directly onto that Su-27M, and we lose a second in this game, which is not something that I expected to see at all. I expected those Su-27Ms to be godlike, but this time round, not so much. Now in this bot side, it looks like Saraga's setting up to make another attack with the support of Alexander's infantry. So Saraga supplying the T-72B OBRs and a couple of BMP-1Ds with Motostrelki, and of course the BMP-T there.
These 27Ms coming in there.
Oh, here we go. Can the 27Ms hit their targets? One of them did. The second one did not, and both of them got shot down. That was devastating. I mean, both of those big 27Ms, yeah, that was not a good trade at all. But still, the show must go on, and it seems as though they are not willing to cancel this push. So as soon as the Mostrelki are revealing this reserve infantry that's trying to defend, it is being hit very hard by the grenade launchers from the BMP-1Ds and the BMP-T. The BMP-T taking a shot though from the Motschützen and going down to 1 health. It looks like, I think, did the Panzerjägers take them out?
I think they might have done, I'm not actually sure.
Yeah, that Panzerjäger squad's doing work. It's picking off a lot of those APCs, making things very, very hard. And it seems as though that this push might fall short. But up in the top side, there is an attack from Amber T and Putin going on. We see Amber T has managed to neutralize Echo with a command infantry squad and is continuing to push with these prams on the top side, which can engage that BMP-3, which is out of ammunition from quite a long range. We've got a couple of T-80Bs moving down the bottom side of Echo, and they're going to be supported by the T-72 and the Zalosnisi. So what will happen is Zalosnisi will move forwards and the T-80Bs will be able to fire on target.
It's a really nice combo. Maybe not quite as good as the old the El Clasico Korean Yukwade spam and fire support, but a very nice side shot there. Side shot? Sean Connery? Side shot. From the Conquered M. Does take out one T-80B, and the second one gets a side shot as well and kills the other T-80B. That's devastating.
Oh wow, so both the T-80Bs now gone in the Echo sector. But this contesting from Amber T with his command unit is actually bringing them back into the game in terms of conquest points, since I mean, Alexander in this bottom side with Serega hasn't got complete control of Gulf yet, but I mean they can just continue to roll through there after they take care of this last reserve infantry squad, because all that's defending the UAZ is a couple of APCs. But fortunately Alexander and Serega won't know that. That's just, I think RKKA is hoping that still Balalaika does not push. They are running their Motschützen across the field to try and defend. Smirch coming in. Let's see if that can actually do any damage.
I think there'll be a little far left though. Yeah. They're going for the corner, unfortunately. I'm not sure if they expected all of Serega's tanks to stay in the same place, maybe.
I think maybe it was for, like, in case the enemy decided to use ACB to try and, like, neutralize it, possibly. But this BRDM-2U as Echo is under threat. It has been pinged. So they do know where it is. And if they have any bombers, they might be able to try and take it out, but it's going to be forced to retreat for now. The Zalosnisi are getting closer. Zalosnisi, not much of a threat. They do have a terribly accurate AT weapon with only 12 AP power. It still would be enough to kill a BRDM with a couple of shots.
That's for sure, but I don't think they're really going to get that far, unfortunately, as the BRDM-3 comes in and deals with them.
So the OBRs in the bottom side are continuing, and it looks like they might run into some T-72s, but honestly OBRs outmatch T-72s any day. So those ones that are on, or one of them's on low health, and now the other one is after taking a rocket in the side. They're going to try and defend this UAZ until this T-72BU gets here to save the day.
That's true, but at this sort of range as well, you know, the OBRs will do a lot of damage to that T-72BU just because of the change in damage because due to range with the 20 AP gun of the OBRs.
Yeah, the OBR did find the UAZ though and did take it down. That is unfortunate because it's going to take a very, very long time for a UAZ to come again all the way from Gulf in order to capture it and basically maintain the lead that they were controlling. But now they have stopped short of the 112 points that Alexander and Serega have, as it looks like this T-72BU does start to engage the BMP 685s, but it seems that the 685s are trying to get like flanking shots onto the BU right now, and as soon as these OBRs start to move forwards, well, one of them's been taken down to very low health and sent back, the other one might not be good enough to kill the BU.
No, but it is being spotted though, so I'm expecting an anti-tank plane, but have a look at Charlie. There's Amber T's kamikazeing two of these T-72s straight in, but actually dying to that BMP very quickly.
Yeah, the autocannon at close range, they're going to be enough. So the BMP, I don't know if you were noticing that, but Putin micromanaging his T-72BU really nicely. He was turning on and off the main gun so that the T-72BU prioritized using its HGM at such a short range. And because the HGM, the SAL HGM that it has, is quite fast, you can use that quite effectively. The MiG-27K there, again, the micro on this T-72BU is on point at the moment. He reversed it so that the front armor was facing. Another aircraft there going down for the red side, though.
Oh, that's so lucky. Because the T-72B OBR of Sarega did actually run out of ammunition there. Otherwise, it would have probably got the second shot off. I think I don't know if he's not paying attention because he had 4 of the severe missiles that he could have fired, but he had them turned off and didn't turn them on in time, unfortunately.
Yeah, so that's annoying. It looks like he was probably focusing on using those, but this BU is on 1 health. It's still pretty vulnerable, and it's still in line of sight, I believe, or is it not now? It might have managed to get away. But either way, he needs to bring that back, get it repaired, maybe just send it all the way back to base, and use the FOB, but it looks like some Urals are on the way, and these boat Schutzen are not confident of pushing into that tree line, which I think it could be a mistake, but there is the BMP-1Ds there with the grenade launchers that would absolutely tear apart the Moat Schutzen in the open.
Well, they don't have any AA though, and Sarega seems to have realised this and is threatening with this Mi-24P. And not enough missiles left on it, unfortunately for them, but a MiG-27K coming in and only hitting 1 missile on that 1989, so unfortunately for them, not taking it out.
Yeah, so the OBR is going to have to be repaired as well now. It looks like they're going to need a couple more than 2 Urals to come and save the day. But Amber T has been forced out of Echo now with the command. It looks like the BRDM-2U did go down in Echo for a short time due to the Smirch or maybe some cluster munitions from bombers, but I think it's probably the Smirch. This command infantry is hanging outside of the sector to maintain its to basically stay hidden behind the mountain. And I mean, there's not many reinforcements coming up. I mean, a couple of TATAs, but the push that Amber T and Putin had into Echo really fell flat.
It definitely did. I mean, they had made a lot of ground, but these 2 tanks from Alexander are extremely low, 2 HP each, and they're not really in a position to fight out against the TATAs coming round. So yeah, I think he really needs to pull them back towards that Mi-26 and get them repaired, although Amber T has noticed this and may be smirching on there.
Yeah, so he's got that help marker there, which means that we might see that smirch sometime soon, but it's going to take quite a while to reload. The Su-24 does come in. Unfortunately, it did not get shot down for Putin and Amber T. MiG-27K comes in and picks off one of the TATAs as the OSAs are left on no ammunition whatsoever to reply a kill there. But it now looks like Gulf is completely under the control of Sarega, and that's now going to be incredibly difficult for Amber T to push into, and he has a lot of troops invested down there. He's going to want to buy in some AA before he makes that push, otherwise that T-72BU and those other tanks are very vulnerable.
This has been a really gritty game so far. We've seen lots of kind of back and forth pushes in Gulf and the same up in Echo, and I have to say I've been happy with this one. It's been really bloody.
Yeah, well, it's not been the most decisive game, but it's definitely been a lot of action on both the top and the bottom side.
Oh,
you can see that Smirch finally coming in,
Oh.
picking up the Mi-26 and Ural. Not going to actually finish off any of the tanks, though, that were nearby, but that was a very good spot there by Amber T, noticing that. In the centre, we still have a little bit of presence in that town for Amber T, his Conkerzems and Moat Schutzen, but at the bottom there, he definitely needs to think about what he's going to do with these forces. That is a large amount of forces there. He is finally bringing up a couple of OSA AKAs, OSA AKs. It looks like Putin's going to be bringing those in for him, but I would say that the amount of tanks that he has down there, or will have down there, requires a little bit more than a couple of OSA AKs.
Maybe. I mean, they have had a MiG-31 rolling around, which a little confused about. I don't really think the MiG-31M is particularly great at the moment, but evidently they see some value in it. So they do have that to try and protect their planes, but or their tanks, should I say? But again, still definitely, I think this game is going in Steel Balalaika's favour.
Yeah, it certainly is. They still have the +1 lead now. They did manage to get the UAZ into the left side of Gulf. So now a +1 income for Alexander and Serega and Steel Balalaika. Like, what needs to happen now is this RKKA needs to get that infantry CB into Echo.
Yeah,
I don't know why
really
it's not. I don't know why it's not
quite
moving in. There is nothing that could threaten that right now, and they could definitely be capturing Echo.
Well, I think I know why. If you rotate your camera angle, it looks like it's inside, but it's actually not. So unfortunately for Amber T, he's probably sent them there, and maybe he didn't realise, and I think he might think that there's an enemy CV contesting, maybe.
Yeah,
which,
possibly.
is a bit unfortunate.
MiG-27K going down to those OSA AKs in the top side. Su-25T coming across though, and it looks like that might try to go for a kill onto the T-80B that's left on 2 health, as long as the Su-25T stops firing at the lowly APCs. So it looks like it might come round for one more pass. Fortunately, the Su-25T does have that 2 front and back armor, so the OSA AKs not doing as much damage as they otherwise would to that aircraft. But finally, in the bottom, a push coming in for Amber T.
Yeah, Amber T now finally realises once the blue team captured Echo that his CV has been outside the entire round for the past 5 or 6 minutes. But we do see this push in the bot side. I'm not sure how far it'll get in, to be honest, but there are a lot of heavy tanks, and the blue team actually doesn't have any, so it's relying on this MiG-27K that will kill the BU.
MiG-27K did pick up the BU, and the OSA AKs will reply on that aircraft, but that's going to take a lot out of this push. That they were really relying on that T-72 BU to be able to deal with the OBR that Serega has, and I don't think Putin's OBR on its own will be enough, but these T-72s at close range are doing a lot of damage.
They definitely are. As they get close, as we said before, the kinetic energy rounds do a lot more damage than the AP indicates. Still pushing in though. I do feel though that there's not really enough time. I don't think even if they did manage to capture the sector, they managed to get the points back, because they just don't have a CV. It's miles away. And
Su-24 came in and took out one of the OSA AKs. That's going to leave the rest of these tanks pretty vulnerable to another airstrike if there's any MiG-27s left. We have seen a lot die this game, but the T-72 is continuing the push towards the Morskaya Pohota 90. And an Mi-24P now being brought in. That's a quite nice response, I believe, with that Kokon missile. Should be able to clean up a couple of these T-72s, and also the rocket pods there should be able to deal a lot of damage to these Mochutsen.
I think they definitely will, but at the same time, it's almost a little vain for Amber T to do this push with Putin, because even if they do push in and take this forest, it's over, unfortunately. 3 minutes 30 seconds left. There's still a +1 points lead for Alexander and Serega, and it's been a very good job from them all game. It's been one of those games where we haven't seen a win on a strategic outplay. Like, we haven't seen like a push into Delta that's won the game, or a push into Foxtrot. It's just been scrappy fighting where well, it just looks like Steel Balalaika managed to micro their units more efficiently, more correctly, and chosen the right units as well, and they've ended up with a win.
Yeah, it's just been swinging backwards and forwards between Gulf and Echo, going backwards and forwards between like who controls them. But finally, it comes out with a surrender from Amber T and Putin. So after 37 minutes and 7 seconds, Steel Balalaika take the first game of a best-of-3 over RKKA. And I think, well, there you go. You can see the kills and losses. Probably the biggest influencer in how they won this game.
It definitely is. Just like I said, a really scrappy game where they've just managed to out-micro their opponents and just kind of secure the zones they were scrapping over because they had more material due to their better KDs, really. 2 ways to put it, really.